Halls has been a funny dungeon this week. We'll have a clip of what happened this week on the live stream. If you guys haven't seen it, I've been playing Evoker, doing low keys only. Basically, like taking my key from like 2 to a set number. We're kind of in like the process of still deciding that. I'm thinking like somewhere between 14, maybe 15, maybe even a little bit higher. You guys can comment if you think a certain range should be considered, but we're only going to be doing that. I'm not intending to actually like progress the character, like not trying to like get good at it or gear it or do anything special, not worried about score or anything like that. Just observing funny moments in low keys. Cop got me another really funny one here. We're going to take a look at this today. This is also Halls, like I was saying. So this is Cop's footage. Let's get right into it. So just try to imagine this going on here. You joined a group. This is a 19 Halls. The key you need score from. You join the group. You see the comp, then you see the chat. Guys, if we do good, we need push key to 23. Just to clarify here, we got a Windwalker, a prop paladin, a rep paladin, a warrior, and a mistweaver. Okay, I mean, like I said, people can do keys with any comp, but yeah, this guy wants to go from 19 to 23 with this group. Hey man, he's ambitious. What could you say? We're on to the second pull of the dungeon. I just want to highlight some things that hopefully people could learn from. Cop rolls up into a mechanic. That's really all you needed to see. Let's watch it again. So the guy's gonna do the leap. It's on a different player. It's got the guy with the moon. That's the prop paladin, I guess. And Cop just kind of rolls right into it, takes a ton of damage. Now this is not a fortified week, so he does manage to survive that. But that mechanic is like, I've seen a lot of people die to that, like low key killing way more people than you'd expect it to, considering it's just a swirl. And I think you're gonna see why it's so dangerous right here. Boom, there we go. So it's the same mechanic. You can see the guy's about to cast it here. Seismic slam, 3, 2, 1, and he lands right on Cop. Hits a couple people to be fair, but it's really hard to see. Look at the stuff, you know, underneath the characters. We have consecrate. We have a bunch of like kind of flowers or whatever that is, moss on the ground. It's actually really hard to see there. So I guess as a tank, maybe just don't tank them like right against the corner here. As Death Knight, I can grip these mobs. If they're in the air and I death grip them down, they'll stop the mechanic. Pretty cool little tip. But yeah, he's now been hit by that twice, died to it once. Here we go. So this guy is, I guess he's a MDI participant because he's going to take that trash and bring it into the next pack. So pretty aggressive pulling, especially for a 19. But you know, it's not fortified week, so there's now a lot of mechanics to be dodging. Cop has now been hit by 3 bleeds. So is the tank, and Cop is going to go down kind of just from chip damage there. Like if you look at his health pool, just not getting a ton of healing. Obviously the 3 bleeds was a really big mistake, but he was alive when the bleeds were at their worst, and then as they're falling off, he manages to die. So yeah, unfortunately, this is hard to avoid, right? Like they're actually dodgeable, the bleeds, even as the tank. Once they start channeling the spell, you can just move out and it won't hit you. But when you have like 6 of them or what's there, like 4 in that pack, it's gonna be hard to dodge them when there's that many mobs. They do finish up the trash, and you know, instead of releasing and running, I guess probably faster to just sit here and res the guys. The rep pally there says no P, which I guess probably means no problem. I don't. Never heard anybody say no P before if they're actually meaning no problem. Maybe the guy's like, I gotta use the bathroom. He's like, no P. Okay, so we're down to probably one of the hardest bosses in the game on Tyrannical. And this guy's just going to go ahead and pull with there's 2 people at 50% health. But yeah, you might have noticed this is a Tyrannical week and we have no Bloodlust. We invited probably, I mean, this is honestly one of the worst comps you could possibly invite. You know, not necessarily saying Windwalker's that bad, but it's not that great. And obviously 2 Paladins, they just overlap all the utility. Windwalker, and same thing with Mistweaver, just overlapping any utility you might bring them for. One thing I always say, like, if you're pugging, you have one advantage over people who are not pugging. You have the potential of playing with any comp you want. To not invite a Bloodlust, to not invite, like, you know, a relatively good comp for this dungeon especially, that's just playing poorly. That's just silly. I don't know why you would do that. I will say that these 2 guys seem to be together, the 2 Paladins. I'm not exactly sure if everybody else is a straight pug, but based on the way things unfold here, I would imagine that is the case. He's tanking them over by the corner as well, which I would say is a good idea if you're going to actually drop the mechanic on the boss, but people aren't doing that. They're just running it out. This is one you don't see very often though. We're in the kind of transition phase here. These ads are dying. There's a big ring around them. If you get hit by it when they die, you die too. Power Paladin is yeah, he's gonna show a death that you almost never see. I feel like I don't think I've seen this once this entire season. That guy's just gonna not move out of them dying, and he's just gonna die. You could see him there in the middle. One runs out, the other one doesn't. Just stand there. There's this corpse flying in the air there. If that guy dies in probably Probably the strangest way you've seen all season, but we do have a battle res. Luckily, the other guy is a paladin too. But yeah, tanking in this corner with all melee is going to cause some really strange things to go on. Cop actually got away far enough away that we didn't have to worry about the boss. But then all the swirls are like kind of slumped up like that. Here it comes again, and we just didn't bloodlust. Like, we don't have a bloodlust in the group, and nobody brought drums, including the guy who put the group together. Tons of swirls, tons of area denial on this fight now, and the warrior is gonna go down basically because of the way he's tanked. Like, if you just put all sides of the boss as safe spots, then you won't have what's about to happen here either, where some DPS is trying to dodge a mechanic and then get stunned. Super sloppy kill of this fight with only a few people alive as it dies. So we get up here, we have the 2 shock troopers and 3 people all try to interrupt one, and then one just gets its cast off completely uncontested. Lightning damage doing a lot of damage to Cop, but the tank's going to continue. I don't really like this play. I know the timer's kind of tight, but these mobs, especially after you miss the interrupt, can be very dangerous. You see how much damage we're taking here? So bringing that on top of the Swoglets, I really don't like this at all. And yeah, Cop's actually going to die pretty much to that. Like, we drag the mob that is doing damage to us that we didn't interrupt down to enemies that just attack random DPS. That's a really easy way to have your DPS get killed. And now you got this guy running all the way back from that death just to completely, that's just silly. You're just wasting so much time doing that. Whereas if you just kill that pack neatly, then you can combine the rest. All right, so this is why we're making the video though. I have no idea what these people are even saying at this point, but the guy goes W ping 1000. So I guess he's saying I have high latency. I'm not exactly sure what that is meant to mean, but obviously 1000 ping is not really that good to play with. They're down here fighting the trash though. So this guy's just going to go AFK. That's the tank, by the way, Clantez. He's just gonna go AFK in the middle of trash. Like, I've never seen that. I have never seen anybody go AFK, reload, whatever he's doing in the middle of trash. But then it gets weirder because you think like, okay, his ping is bad. I don't know, maybe he's gonna fiddle with add-ons. No, his friend says he's going to restart his modem. This is a time dungeon. I think it's probably better to just stick with the 1000 ping. I've never seen that. I don't think I've ever seen somebody actually say, I'm going to restart my modem in the middle of a Mythic Plus, dude. All these years, man, we see such funny things, such unique things. Every time there's always still new stuff still. So I don't want you to sit here and watch this whole thing, but like, the guy basically goes AFK at the 12-minute mark. Let's just say the 12-minute mark exactly in the key. So you see on the right there, Hall's 19, 12-minute mark at the 13-minute mark, 13 and a half minutes now. 15-minute mark. Here we go. 15 and a half minutes. He's been offline so long that it put somebody else as the group leader. Oh, and he's back at the 16-minute mark. Now his character is online, but he's not here for some reason. He's back at the start of the dungeon. I have no idea what happened there. I guess maybe did he die to the trash when he went AFK? I have no idea. He comes back and he's just at the start of the dungeon. Like, he just logs on. I'm trying to see exactly. Yeah, he just logs on. He's alive. And I guess he's been offline for so long that Blizzard said, nope, you got to go back to the start of the dungeon for some reason. So that was at the 16-minute mark. Let's see how long it takes him to get back. 17-minute mark, 17 and a half minute mark here. He comes back pretty much at the 10-ish mark and he's ready to go. That guy just like randomly throws a major CD on the ground for no reason and we're ready to do it. What is this? What is this spell that he's about to do? Is that the Rep Paladin? Isn't that like a major CD that guy just threw on the ground and hit nothing? Okay, no worries. We're back into the key. Guy was gone. Let's just say for about 5 minutes. Not really the end of the world. I mean, like, if you're in a situation where you think you like literally can't finish the key in time because you have 1000 latency, then I guess maybe that's not the worst idea. I don't know. I'm telling you right now, if I restarted my router, it would take me longer than 4 minutes to get back one way or the other. Not sure what he actually did. Maybe he's got some really good router or something. And then we get to the frog boss, which honestly has been a really strange boss for me this week. I've done this boss a bunch this week. This dungeon is like just playing so much harder than I would expect it to. It feels like if you don't have a good like natural kiting comp for these frogs, people just kind of run around in circles. We have some amazing footage of that. Not necessarily going to happen in this group because we have all melee, obviously. It's like, so right now we have the warrior just face tanking. He's got 5 stacks. Same with the monk. They're just like face tanking them straight up and they're just going to die to him. Like the warrior just straight up loses to the frogs. Frogs dog's like comfortably dead, so it's like not even really an issue at that point. We're gonna go down here now to the probably single hardest enemy in the dungeon, to the point where people were trying to skip it and Blizzard had to force the dungeon to not allow them to skip it. This guy's gonna fucking pull 2. He doesn't even give a shit, dude. He does not care whatsoever. He's going to aggro 2 of them. He goes all the way down, grabs the other pack. So we got 4 non-dragons and 2 dragons. Yet again, we have a bunch of visual clutter underneath mechanics that we now need to dodge. It's a very aggressive strategy, especially with a comp that's just not really, I just don't really look at this comp and be like, yeah, this is the play with this kind of group, you know what I mean? So they're pretty much just gonna straight up wipe to this and just watch it again. Go ahead and look on the left side. So here we go. So we're fighting all 5 of these mobs. You know, Tank's not really getting a ton of healing, but you know, that's oh, he died. He got killed. What happened there? Here it comes. The stomping guy is gonna put a gray circle out. Tank does not move out of that, and he gets stunned and killed, likely just from the stun even. Now 3, 2, 1, that guy releases and leaves. Cool. So the guy who made the group wait for 5 minutes because he wanted to restart his router had just died to doing probably the dumbest thing you could do with the trash. I mean, like, that is just absurd. I have no idea why you would even think that that's a good idea. Yeah, maybe because you just made the group 5 minutes longer. But yeah, he's just going to go ahead and leave. Just straight up dies and leaves. So yeah, this is what, you know, really Mythic Plus in general looks like nowadays, but especially end of the season Mythic Plus. I think it's like kind of even made worse by the fact that, like, you know, it's tyrannical week. You didn't bring a bloodlust, just an awful comp. You know, this is the group leader. This is the guy who put the group together. You really couldn't have made more mistakes, right? I honestly feel like this is probably as maximum mistakes that you could actually make as one player in this group and still have any chance of actually finishing it. So just a funny little one man. Pop has been having a lot of trouble. Mythic Plus, obviously, you know, dragging on a little bit. Speaking of dragons, we got the augmentation evoker streams. That's pretty much going to be my content for the rest of the season, playing the observation evoker. Like we were saying, find some funny keys. If you guys are out there running funny keys, send them my way. We can laugh. We could also learn. Thank you for watching. We will see you guys in the next video.